We're back again. The WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. Ike, how are we?
Spike, Fritzy, another series win for us. Holla at your boy.
They made up for last year's NLCS collapse.
Everything's even now.
Everything's fine.
Yep, never happened.
That's tongue-in-cheek by you, but I do feel a little better. A little better.
A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
What percentage better?
No, maybe,
5?
No, maybe 20% better.
Wow. It's bold.
Boo.
So we got a good show today. You know, a lot of this, that, and the other. The Flyers guys coming over. We have a special Russian analyst who will join us to give us the backstory on Michkov. Can't believe we got him.
How do you pronounce his name?
Michkov? Do we say Michkov? It's also draft week, and there could be, some activity with the Sixers coming with the draft on Wednesday. First round is on Wednesday. Second round is on Tuesday, but could be some trade stuff. We, of course, don't care what they're going to take at 16. There could be some trade stuff there. But I have to start off the show with something that this show is built on. I think we would all agree if there's one word this show is built on, starts with an A, ends with a Y, and that word is accountability. Right? You would agree?
I've heard that a time or two.
Yeah. Jack, we're accountable. We hold people accountable here. That's how we do.
I gave freaking Eagles chance last week. We get it.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing, and I'm pretty amazed that nobody has said this. I guess it's par for the course. And Elliot had said this a bunch of times, and I didn't believe him. But here we are, me siding with Elliot Shore Parks.
Ooh, boy. Careful.
Bryce Harper is a great player. Debatably the first or second best athlete, professional athlete in Philadelphia.
Great take. There's no but coming.
He is a great player. And he is having a great season. He is, depending on who you talk to, he's either the favorite or the second favorite for MVP in the National League this year, right there with Shohei Ohtani. And the Phillies have the best record in baseball. However, he is not infallible. And I feel like he is not held to the same standard that certain other players in this city are held, that Jalen Hurts is held up to, that Joel Embiid is held up to. Okay, so here we are with the Phillies, where they have a 7-game lead in the division, was down to 6, and a division that I thought was done. All of a sudden, the Braves are playing well, and all of these games matter, right? You can't win all of them, but they matter. Mm-hmm. The reason they lost Friday night's game, I guess you could whittle it down to 2 players. One, Taijuan Walker. That's one of the reasons they lose Friday night's game. The other reason they lose is because of Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper cost them the game on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Great player, but he cost them the game in 3 ways, and 2 of them are simply keeping his head in the game and remembering what's important. So he hits that double to right field, but he thinks it's a home run. And because he thinks it's a home run, he's not running as hard as he should be. He's too busy thinking about his Huck Tua celebration at second base and only winds up at second rather than third, which should have been a triple, but it was only a double.
What's Huck Tua?
Yeah, what celebration?
We'll get to that later. Then Alec Boehm hits a fly ball to right field that for some reason, and I can't figure out why other than a lack of concentration, Harper does not go from second to third on the fly ball to right field from Alec Boehm. Then, and this is just a performance issue, but in the 7th inning, the bases are loaded. He grounds the ball meekly to the pitcher, and they wind up ending an inning that they could have won the game. They end up ending the inning on a home-to-first double play. Harper. And all I know is that if Joel Embiid or Jalen Hurts had cost the team a game because they were too busy celebrating or thinking about their celebration or coasting into second when they could have gotten to third, we would crush Embiid for that. We would crush Jalen Hurts for that. And there is simply no reaction when Harper does it. But because he's good and because he pretends to like wah-wah and because he wears fanatic headbands, everybody's like, whatever Bryce does is fine. All of these games matter. They all matter. Friday night's game matters, Saturday's game matters, Sunday night's game matters, and he gave away the game on Friday, and nobody says anything about it because we're so worried about being nice to Bryce Harper, and I cannot take it anymore. He has to be held accountable, just like Embiid does and just like Hurts does.
Yeah, listen, I I don't have much pushback on the actions from Friday night. I think anybody watching the game will come away with those sort of same conclusions as to how I'm not going to necessarily say he cost him the game. He certainly did not help in those situations. But I disagree with you when you say, I think he doesn't get criticized because people are worried about him liking them or what have you. I think the reason why people aren't quick to criticize Bryce is that Bryce usually knows these things himself. Like, it wouldn't surprise me that Bryce felt the same way that you feel about what he did Friday night. Even though he got to the double and he did the Hawk Tui celebration or what have you, he knows that he wasn't running. He knows he stood there and watched the ball and not tagging up and going to third. These are things I believe he takes home and internalizes them and tries to atone for them. And then that's why you get Saturday and Sunday performances out of Bryce Harper. He usually bounces back when he does things like that. Wasn't it a few weeks ago or whatever when he wasn't running to first base?
Yeah, WIP was all over.
And we held him accountable, and the next thing you know, he's on a hot streak. Got to give him credit that instead of fighting about it on Twitter or calling us up to refute something that we say, you know what he does? He says, you know what? I'm going to go out and put on a performance that'll make them forget about that. And that's what happened from Friday night. We forgot about it. Evidently, you didn't, but
well, I didn't forget about it.
Yeah,
just because
most of us did.
Well, and the other thing is he's doing the same thing in that game, by the way, where he doesn't like the ball or strike call, and he's looking back at the umpire and talking to the umpire, and then he's looking at the dugout, and then he's looking at the umpire again. And we can't afford to lose him in any game because he wants to fight about balls and strikes. You're not allowed to argue balls and strikes. He does it all the time, and I just don't.
He's right most of the time.
And sure,
he has a great eye.
Absolutely, he can be right, and he can make these mistakes, but he has to be held to the same standard that we hold the other stars in this town.
Why? Like, again, this is so annoying. He is on pace to have the best year he's had as a Philly, even when he won the MVP.
Okay.
And we're making a big deal about Friday night. He grounded into a double play. Oh, my God.
It's not just the double
sound
play.
Sound the sirens.
It's not just the double play.
He made a mistake, and then he went 4 for 5 the next day with a home run and demolished the Diamondbacks.
Great. And you know what you would say if that was Joel Embiid? Oh, front runner Joel is able to score when everybody else can score.
Of that.
He cost them a game,
so what?
And nobody said anything about it.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
I talked about it Friday on the final.
I don't care what you were talking about at midnight on Friday night.
It was 10 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock. And it's an important radio program.
I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm saying that...
He's saying it happened so late.
How about this? And by the way, if
I would have called you on... Do you want me to call you on the
yes!
You want me to break down the Harper accountability?
Here's my point. And if you...
It's so ridiculous.
215-592-9494 is Bryce Harper held to the same standard we hold other superstars in this town.
His standard's above those.
A la Jalen Hurts, a la Joel Embiid. How about this from Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts gave us an answer 3 weeks ago for 30 seconds where he giggled and did not give an answer. And for 3 weeks, we have obliterated him, and people within the organization have made it known that it's not acceptable for 3 weeks. Right. And you want to know what? Jalen Hurts has won as many championships as Bryce Harper has. They've won the same amount of championships.
Okay.
I'm just saying, he has to, people have to expect the best out of him all the time.
And he's giving them the best all the time.
All of these games matter. All these games matter. The Mets 2 years ago or 3 years ago won 100 games and didn't win the division and blew the division at the end of the year to the Braves, and that could be one game or it could be 2 games that could make the difference. And every game matters. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that we, as hosts, you, as fans, have to hold him to the same account. And I know it's cute that he makes pretend he loves Wawa. I know it's cute.
He loves Wawa.
Oh, come on. He doesn't love it as much as having merch designed for it. Like, let's just relax a little bit with the fanatic socks and ba-da-da-da-da, and he's one of us, and yada-yada. Even though he's a Cowboys fan, we let that go.
The problem is
he was a Cowboys fan.
The problem is you just don't believe him. That's your issue. You've never been able to get past this. Like, I know you said, quote unquote, to his face, now I believe you. You don't believe him. You don't believe Bryce. It's okay.
Do you believe him? You believe he loves Wawa so much he designs clothes over it?
I think he's a showman. It doesn't bother me. Why does it bother you? Why does it bother you?
That part doesn't bother me anymore.
It sounds like it bothers you.
No, what it bothers me about is that it makes people give an exception to him that the others don't give. Like if we get honesty out of the others, then they are punished for it, and we praise Bryce for the lying, and that we give him.
But if he wasn't backing it up on the field, I think it would annoy people. If he was hitting 230 and he came out with the Wawa line, people would be annoyed. He's number 2 in MVP odds right now.
That's great.
Shohei's a superstar.
That's great. Win a World Series. You know what I mean? Like the mission's not done.
Just because
hang a banner for almost winning a third MVP in June.
So he wins a World Series, then he could do all the Wawa merch.
No,
and it wouldn't be an
but
issue.
what I'm saying is he has not put himself in a position to get away with the things that he gets away with. That's all.
He doesn't get away with much because in the postseason he shows up. Like again,
really against in Game 6 and 7. No. He shows up unless he's not showing up, right?
He hit a ball to the wall in Game 7 that on any other night mostly goes out. I don't know what to tell you. It's baseball. I can't do this with Bryce. He's been great here.
He has been great here. Every game matters. Play like every game matters.